Universe boss, I tell you, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. If there's one man who did not deserve to be on the losing side, it was you, Christopher Henry Gale. Listen, fourth ODI has been played, West Indies versus England. It's a 5-match series, but the third one was rained out. So effectively the next game, well, it's a decider. It can either decide if one team's going to win it, England, or West Indies going to pull it back to a 2-2 series leveler. And I'll tell you, I'll take that. We lost the game. Very, very good match. Brilliant advert for ODIs, One Day International Cricket. And I tell you, I've been one of the people saying that if there has to be a form of cricket that's going to die, it has to be ODI. It's 50 over, because T20 is where it's at in cricket right now. That is where it's at. And that is a limited overs form. Test cricket is the pinnacle of the game. And it's such a contrast between the Test cricket and the ODIs that if you're going to have to, and the T20 of course, if we're going to lose one of them, it has to be the one in the middle, because that is probably, I'll say it's the most dispensable. The crowds don't really come in unless you're in the big, England, Australia, India, until it's latter, if it's a day-night game, latter in the day. And of course it's very similar, especially nowadays, very similar to T20. You just hit out from ball 1 to ball 300, 50th over. You just hit out. And that's what happened in Grenada. I mean, batsman's paradise if ever I've seen one. Batsman's paradise. West Indies won the toss. Holder put England into bat. Now, I wasn't surprised because there was some rain around. Of course, the third ODI was washed out, and there was some rain around earlier that day. The pitches were covered, so if there was any dampness in the wicket, it would have been very, very early on. So I thought, yes, put the batsman in, see if he can nip out a few early and chase down a score, which of course chasing is the strength of both West Indies and England. This would be the first time we were chasing in the series, having set a 360 total, which England chased down the first ODI, and having defended, 290, 289 or so in the second ODI. But there was nothing in it for the bowlers. There was literally nothing in it for the bowlers. The batsmen made hay. Alex Hales came in for the injured Jason Roy as a change from the second ODI. Stokes, who was not included on the team sheet for the third ODI, but of course that was washed out, so he retained his place from the team that last played. And between Bairstow and Hales, they got off to a flyer. And once Bairstow got out and then Root got out cheaply, in came Owen Morgan. He's hit a very, very well crafted century. It was just over a runner ball, but he didn't give any chances to the fielders. Pretty much the only way you could get out on that wicket is to throw your wicket away, unless you really got a jaffer. Joe Root got a decent ball, and a couple of the West Indies, one or two of the West Indies batsmen got a decent ball, but pretty much you're only going to get out trying to go for sixes, because there was nothing in it for the bowlers. Earl Morgan, as I said, made a very well crafted century. Alex Hales on his return made 90 or so, maybe 80. But it was all about Jos Buttler. What an innings. 150, the fastest century and a half in ODI cricket history. He got a century of 60 balls. The last, his partnership with Owen Morgan was about 200 runs of 20 overs. The last 10 overs yielded 150 runs, and they set a mammoth score, looking like they were taking the game completely out of West Indies' reach. I have to talk about West Indies, of course. We went with an unchanged team, much to my disappointment and a number of West Indies fans. Obviously, West Indies were unchanged for the third ODI, which wasn't played, but Russell, as we knew, was flown over. He was going to be there, Andre Russell that is, for the fourth and fifth ODIs. He's in the team. He's in the squad, but he can't make the 11. Apparently something to do with like jet lag. I will give him a bit more time to recover from the flight. We need him. We need him now. The man is destructive with both bat and ball, quick, wicket taker. Yes, it can be expensive, but in ODIs, it's all about wickets. In cricket, it's all about wickets in reality. And it's not like he ain't match fit. He's been playing I think it's the Pakistan Super League, one of the 2020 leagues anyway. So he's very, very much match fit. But it is what it is. Went with the same team. Carlos Brathwaite and Bishu and Nurse, to be fair, three people who I think places are really, really at risk. Bishu didn't bowl well, and neither did Nurse. To be fair to Bishu, he had to start bowling in the power play because the seamers did not get off to a very good start. And in reality, none of the bowlers bowled that well. Other than, I would say there was a spell when Brathwaite and Thomas came in, just as the wickets of Bairstow and Root. Thomas came in, got the wicket of Bairstow and Root, and Brathwaite was on at the same time. That partnership, they were bowling, both of them very tight. I think Brathwaite bowled maybe 4 overs for 20 runs or something like that. So he actually surprised me there. But once they came out of the attack, or once Morgan and Butler got their eye in, it was carnage all over again. West Indies broke the record for 23 sixes in one innings, the highest in world cricket. And England went and broke it 2 games later. 24 sixes. There was full tosses, there was long hops, there was some very, very good cricket shots as well, mind you. I have to give credit where it is due, but we could have bowled so much better. There were so many full tosses which were just carted away. They couldn't find the block hold. And anything that was length, that just went as well. The pitch was brilliant for batting. The ground wasn't that big, maybe 60, 70 metres each way. In this day and age, and the level of cricket we're playing now, that is nothing. 60, 70 metres is nothing. These batsmen are clearing it with a thick edge, such are the bats. But England, yeah, set a one of the highest, I think it was the 4th highest first innings score in the ODI of 418, setting West Indies 419 to win. And the reality is, that's a massive chase. It's a long, long chase. You have to go, and you have to keep going, and you have to keep going, and you have to keep going until you make those runs, because at any point, the bowling team gets a couple wickets and the game can turn its head. Got off to a flyer. Second over, John Campbell John Campbell took Mark Wood for 15 runs. Then Gale got his eye in, and he started doing what Gale does: 6s galore, 4s galore. We had a very, very productive power play. Within that, to be fair, John Campbell got out flashing at, thrashing at Mark Wood outside, trying to hit him over his head, and he got caught in the covers. And Shea Hope, to be fair, got a very good ball. I think he's probably him and possibly Roots, the only batsman who can say, yeah, a good ball got me out today. Nicking behind to the keeper, that can happen. Then Bravo came in, and between him and Gale, I think they must have put on just under 200, about 190. And they didn't give up a chance to the bowlers. Everything and everyone went. Plunkett went. To be fair, he had decent figures in the end. Wokes, he went. Rashid, he got hit out of attack on numerous occasions. Mo Ali came in and came out as fast as he came. 6, 6, 6, 6, 4. Bravo and Gale looked like they were taking West Indies home. But the reality is, as I said, it's a long chase. It's a big chase. We reached 230 for 2 after 23 overs. Now, after all those 6s, you look at the score and you're like, damn, we still need another 180. That's how much work you got to do. If we lose a wicket here, another batsman has to come in and keep up the scoring rate. But at that point, we were well ahead of scoring rate. I think at that point, well ahead of England's score at that time. It was only their last 10 overs where they really took it away. But we had brought the scoring rate down to about 7 and over. We were comfortably in charge of this game. And in reality, at that point, you have to say we're favourites. Halfway through, just under halfway through, more than half the runs scored, we were favourites, and we should have taken it home. It wasn't going to be easy even then, but we should have taken it home. Gale, brilliant century of 55 balls, quicker than just Butler's, and he himself went on to make 150 as well. But the turning point of the game, Mark Wood came back into the attack after Stokes took his pummeling. And first ball, Bravo tries to hit him, or to hook him, or pull him. First ball of his new spell, and we know that how quick he is. Ball came onto him too fast, rushed him, and it went straight up, caught at mid-wicket, high in the air. That was a turning point, because what Gale needed was what Butler had. Butler was going, made his 150. Morgan, and of course Hales before him, but Morgan was batting with Butler and got himself 100. Bravo needed to say, I'm going to bat and I'm going to get myself 100. He didn't need to go after Wood. And if you'd have watched what Gale was doing on the other side, Gale showed them how it should be done. He played Mark Wood. Take a single. If a bad ball comes, you hit a 4, you hit a 6. On that wicket, you don't even need a terrible ball to hit a 4 or 6, because it was so true. But there's no point trying to force it off their best and fastest bowler. They brought him back for that reason, just to get a key wicket. And you gave it to him first ball. That was the turning point. Shimron Hetmeyer comes in and you feel, okay, cool. We need him to settle in. And if them two start getting going, then there's still another brilliant chance. First ball hooks him for 6. I laughed. I'm like, this is Hetmeyer. Like, he's just going to go. And then second ball, tries to do it again, gets caught in the deep. And for me at that point, I was like, you know what? It's going to be very difficult. At that point, we're 4 wickets down, still, over half the game left to go, just under half the amount of runs, 190 to get. You're into the all-rounders and bowlers now, Holder, Brathwaite, and then Nurse and Bishu. And it was going to be tough, and so it proved. Holder came in, got maybe a runner ball, 30, then he got stumped by off Rashid. Gale bowled by Stokes, and I think for me at that point it was like game over. Literally, when Hetmeyer got out, I said it's going to be difficult. When Gale got out, I said game over, because now we had 2 new batsmen, Holder and Brathwaite at the crease, and the rate was climbing. The rate was coming up to 10. Brathwaite not in the best of form at all, and it just looked a long way. And I was hoping, let's just take it as close as we can, keep it respectable. But we did more than that. We actually gave us a bit more hope. After Holder got out, Nurse came in. He hit a 41 of 45 balls. Brathwaite himself hit a half century and took the game within reach. It was still, at no point after that was West Indies favourites. But we brought it back to a manageable total. I think it was like 30 we needed off 16? 18 deliveries, 3 overs, 30 needed. But Rashid came back into the tackle, stayed in the attack, should I say, for the 48th over, and duly wrapped it up. 4 wickets in 5 balls, and we fell 29 runs short. Disappointing. As I said, at the halfway stage, we were the favourites, and to be honest, we probably should have taken it home. Bravo, silly shot. Hetmeyer, silly shot. Gale, wonderful innings. So it is disappointing. Disappointing that we couldn't see it home. And if we had seen it home, what a chase that would have been. That would have, I tell you, it would have been remarkable, because we've got into this series. This whole tour, we've been written off from the start, called amateurs. We're going to get absolutely battered, whitewashed. We beat England in the Test series, and convincingly still. We lost the first ODI, but we came back strongly and won the second one, and nearly chased down this mammoth total. Now, I hope we take this confidence into the final ODI, and at least level the series. That will be brilliant. I believe that we'll win the T20 series. The shorter the format, but the shortest format of the game is definitely our strongest. But it looks like that in both the Tests and both the ODIs, we're just getting better. And coming into a World Cup, we're in the World Cup year, coming up to a World Cup very soon, this is the kind of form we need to be showing. And there's still more to come. Elvin Lewis, he's still to come. Narayan, possibly. Andre Russell, there's still players out there who I think can strengthen this team. Gabriel Roach, Alzari Joseph, those people are on the sidelines at the moment. So there's hope. There is a lot of hope. I wasn't confident at all. One going into this series, I said 4-1 England. I mean, it could end up 3-1, but we've done more than enough to prove myself wrong in terms of how well we will do. And I think we could actually be dark horses for the World Cup if we continue in this form. We get our players fit and continue in this form. We are developing. We are improving as a cricketing nation at long last. And I don't think it's just a flash in the pan. I'm seeing a lot of work behind the scenes, but also on the pitch from the likes of Jason Holder, who now has been appointed the T20 captain for the England series. And as they've said, they want to keep the core group together and they build up to the World Cup. So I'm guessing the T20 squad's going to be very similar to the ODI squad. But Brathwaite was the T20 captain. Holder's now the captain for that. You know, they can work on things like power plays, bowling, partnership, etc. But maybe this might be the end of Brathwaite. For now anyway. You know, you never hope to end anyone's career like that. But he hasn't done anything since he hit the 460s. Yes, he had a very good game. Or a good game anyway, in the last one, which was very difficult for bowlers. But he hasn't done enough to keep his place, and Russell needs games at 50 over level before the World Cup, and I think this last game is an opportune time to bring him back. Bishu, Nurse, for me they've got one more game to really stake a claim, and if they don't do that, then changes for me are going to have to be made in the spin department. But they're not offering what the likes of Adil Rashid is offering, and at the moment, that's the big difference. We're going to be playing against teams who have quality spinners. And in limited overs cricket, that is always a massive thing. India, Pakistan, even Afghanistan, of course, Bangladesh. Those teams are going to have quality spinners. And we don't have any at the moment playing for us. Narayan was that. I know he remodeled his action, so hopefully he still comes back the bowler he was. But we do... I would like to see some changes in that final ODI, and hopefully we can level the series. But I have to say congratulations to the boys, or commiserations. We did very, very well, so close, yet so far. On to St. Lucia, rally round the West Indies. We can do this.